Hey guys, welcome to Film World. Today I am going to explain a romance drama film called The In-Between from 2022. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The movie starts with a devastating car accident involving a young couple. When Tessa regains consciousness in the hospital, the doctors inform her that she survived, but her boyfriend didn't make it. What's even more shocking is that he actually died 182 days before the accident. Flashing back to the past, Tessa is at her parents' house when she suddenly feels the urge to go out and take pictures at the beach. Later that evening, she heads to the movies, where she crosses paths with a boy who seems familiar, the same one from the accident. They decide to watch a romance film together, and as the movie ends, Tessa tells him that the best love stories are the ones without a happy ending. As they leave the theater and say goodbye, Tessa realizes she left her jacket inside. When she returns to retrieve it, she notices that the boy, whose name is Skylar, also forgot his cap. Back in the present, Tessa is still recovering in the hospital when she suddenly sees Skylar standing in front of her. He tries to show her something, but before she can react, she wakes up. It was just a dream. She tells the doctor about her vision, but the doctor explains that it was likely a side effect of her near-death experience. During the accident, Tessa's heart had briefly stopped before they managed to revive her. That night, as she lies in her hospital bed, she begins to hear Skylar's voice, faint and distant, as if he were a ghost. The next day, she meets a woman who claims to know about spirits. Tessa explains that she has been hearing Skylar's voice, and the woman tells her that if he is still reaching out, it means he has unfinished business. If Tessa truly wants to help him move on, she must listen to his calls. But Tessa refuses to believe any of it. Just then, her parents arrive at the hospital to take her home. A little over 3 months before the accident, Tessa's photography teacher encourages her to explore romantic photography, making her question what she truly loves. As she continues to take pictures, she unexpectedly spots Skylar again while photographing some athletes. She walks over to return his cap, and both are surprised and thrilled to see each other again. Their reunion becomes even more special when Skylar's mother appears and tells Tessa that her son hasn't stopped talking about her. In fact, he had been looking for her ever since that night at the movies. Tessa and Skylar start spending more time together. One day, they explore an abandoned museum that used to be a venue for newlyweds. Tessa takes pictures of the place, and as they sit down to talk, they share a quiet, heartfelt moment before finally kissing. Later that evening, Skylar drops Tessa home, and before parting, they make a promise to meet again at the end of the month and spend the whole summer together. But fate has other plans. Tessa is overwhelmed with sadness after losing Skylar. She confides in a friend about the strange occurrences that make her feel like he's still close, but her friend dismisses her thoughts as grief playing tricks on her. At school, Tessa's teacher reminds her that she needs to submit a photography portfolio soon if she wants to get into a good university, but she no longer seems to care. Wandering outside, she reflects on all the pictures she had taken of Skylar, each one a painful reminder of what she lost. Overcome with emotion, she throws her camera into a lake, as if trying to erase the memories. Returning home, she takes it a step further. She throws away everything related to her photography and tells her father she's done with it for good. That night, as she sleeps, she has a vivid dream. Skylar appears, embracing her, whispering that he's still there. Jolting awake, she's shaken. Could it have been more than just a dream? Just then, strange noises come from the room where she used to develop photos. Cautiously stepping inside, she sees the photo printing machine running on its own. A single image emerges, sending chills down her spine. It's a picture from the day she and Skylar visited the museum. Stunned, she retrieves her discarded materials and begins coloring the photograph. Curious, she loads another blank sheet into the printer, waiting to see if something else appears. When nothing happens, she leans in and accidentally places her hand on the paper. Moments later, the machine prints an image, Tessa's hand, but intertwined with Skylar's. She watches in disbelief as his hand slowly fades away, leaving her even more convinced that he's trying to reach her. Determined to understand what's happening, she rushes back to the hospital to find the woman who had spoken to her about spirits. But she's too late. The woman has already left. However, a doctor hands Tessa a book the woman had left behind just for her. As she flips through the pages, she learns about the afterlife and how certain cameras can capture images of ghosts. Flashing back to the past, Tessa and Skylar are on a date, but something is weighing on him. He confesses that his parents are getting divorced. Tessa tries to comfort him, saying that sometimes relationships don't work out, But Skylar refuses to believe that. He insists that love is something worth fighting for. On another day, the two go for a walk, and Tessa opens up about her own painful past. She reveals that her father abandoned her as a baby, and later, her mother left too. She spent her early years in an orphanage until her adoptive parents took her in as a teenager. Skylar listens, his expression filled with understanding and sorrow, as if he finally sees a piece of the puzzle that makes Tessa who she is. Tessa and Skylar spend the next day by the lake, capturing moments through her camera before deciding to row a boat together. As they drift, Skylar looks at her and confesses that he loves her. Tessa remains silent, unsure of how to respond. An awkward tension lingers between them as they return to the car. But just as they are about to leave, Tessa makes up her mind. She pulls him in and kisses him passionately, their emotions spilling over. One thing leads to another, and they make love for the first time. In the future, Tessa confides in her friend about the mysterious photographs that appeared in her room. Her friend, however, refuses to believe that any of it is possible. Their conversation is interrupted by an upcoming exam. As they sit in class, something strange happens. Tessa's pencil begins to move on its own, sketching random lines across the paper. Before she can process it, every student's phone suddenly starts playing the song that was special to her and Skylar. Stunned, her friend finally starts to believe that something supernatural might be happening. In the past, Skylar surprises Tessa by taking her to a museum. There, he excitedly reveals that one of her photographs is on display, and several buyers are interested in purchasing it for a high price. But instead of being thrilled, Tessa is furious. She demands to know why he submitted her work without asking her permission. Skylar, trying to reason with her, explains that he only wanted to show her that her talent deserves recognition and that she should apply to a prestigious university, one that happens to be near the one he is planning to attend. But Tessa refuses to listen, feeling betrayed. The moment is ruined, and they leave in anger. Later, guilt gnaws at Tessa, and she sends Skylar a message, asking to meet. But he replies that he can't. Conflicted, she turns to her adoptive mother, admitting that they had a fight. Her mother gently advises her that if she truly loves him, she should tell him in person before it's too late. In the future, Tessa and her friend attempt to communicate with Skylar. They try various methods, a moving pencil, a mirror, even a television. But nothing works. Disheartened, Tessa heads home. Just as she arrives, something odd happens. The GPS in her car turns on by itself, displaying an address. She quickly realizes that the location matches the lines her pencil had mysteriously drawn during the exam. Following the coordinates, she drives to the address and is startled to find the same woman from the hospital, the one who spoke about ghosts. The woman tells her that if she truly wants to reach Skylar, she must find the place where their love was at its strongest. However, she warns Tessa that once she crosses the portal between life and death, there will be no way to turn back. Days after their fight, Tessa and Skylar see each other again at a party. Tessa searches for the right moment to tell him that she loves him, but before she can, she overhears a conversation that changes everything. She realizes that Skylar is planning to attend a university on the other side of the country. Feeling betrayed, she confronts him, accusing him of wanting to abandon her. Skylar, taken aback, explains that he's choosing that university to be closer to his father, who isn't well. But Tessa, feeling hurt and left behind, blurts out that she needs him too. Frustrated, Skylar tells her that she wouldn't understand because she doesn't have a real family. The words cut deep, and Tessa's anger boils over. Without another word, she breaks up with him and storms out, leaving Skylar standing there, regretful but unable to take back what he said. In the future, determined to prove that Skylar is still with her, Tessa embarks on a journey to all the places they spent time together. Using a special camera, she takes photos of herself, hoping to capture his presence in one of them. She visits their favorite spots, feeling a mix of nostalgia and longing, but nothing unusual appears in the images. Her journey ends at the museum, the place where they had their first kiss. Sitting in that exact spot, she notices a strange light reflecting from a mirror on the ceiling. Suddenly, an unexplainable force pulls her upwards. Her body defies gravity, and she begins walking up the wall toward the mirror. As she reaches it, she sees Skylar on the other side. Their eyes lock, filled with desperation and longing. Both of them press against the mirror, trying to break the barrier between their worlds. But no matter how hard they try, they can't reach each other. The mirror shatters into pieces, and the connection is severed. Tessa plummets to the ground, hitting the cold floor as everything fades to black. Later, Tessa's parents find out that she was at the abandoned museum and scold her for being reckless. But before they can finish, Tessa suddenly faints. At the hospital, the doctor delivers serious news. Her heart wound has reopened and they will have to operate on her immediately. The next day, Tessa, still weak but desperate, begs the doctors to let her go. She knows she only has a few hours left to see Skylar again. However, the doctor refuses to listen and instead sedates her to keep her from leaving. Hours later, Tessa wakes up groggy but determined. She immediately calls her friend, pleading with her to help her escape. Understanding the urgency in Tessa's voice, her friend rushes to the hospital and sneaks her out without permission. As they get into the car, something eerie happens. The car starts driving on its own. Neither of them touches the wheel as it moves with purpose, leading them straight to the place where Skylar's accident happened. Tessa, feeling a powerful pull, steps out of the car and suddenly faints. In that moment, her soul leaves her body. Drifting between past and present, Tessa watches the events of that fateful day unfold. She sees herself running towards Skylar, finding him at the accident site, and telling him that she loves him. A wave of joy and relief washes over her. She hadn't remembered her last words to him before, and now she knows that she had confessed her love. As she processes this, Tessa's ghostly form turns to see Skylar's spirit waiting for her. Their eyes meet, filled with love and longing. Without hesitation, they embrace, their souls finally reunited. Together, they journey through all the places they once dreamed of visiting. They roam freely, unburdened by time or the physical world, savoring their love in a way they never could before. But then, Tessa sees her real body in the hospital. Her family sits anxiously by her side, hoping she will wake up. A deep realization dawns on her. She has to go back. Turning to Skylar, she holds his hand one last time. They promise never to forget each other, and with a final bittersweet smile, she returns to her body. Tessa gasps awake in the hospital bed, alive once more. Weeks later, she honors Skylar's memory by presenting their photographs in an application for the most prestigious photography university. She is determined to pursue her passion, carrying Skylar's love and their story with her forever. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.